to say.
Morning, folks. Pat's boiling kettle, so I think you can hear me over the top of it, don't worry. First, I just wanted to say, I never mentioned that prior to going abroad I was worried about how we were going to pay for things. And I was worried about the phone, how the data allowance. Because I was only going to have 25 gigabytes of data for the month over in Europe, whereas in England I've got 150 gigabytes a month. Well, first of all, the card. I got that travel card from Asda, and I kept loading it up while we were in Europe from an account. I didn't pile loads of money onto it all at one go. I just gradually did it on my phone while I were over there, and I used it for everything. And I never had a problem with it at all. It was a great idea. I mean, the card itself is not linked to a bank. It's an independent card, and you can only use the money that you put onto it. But it worked everywhere.
Yeah, you paid for hotel things with it.
Petrol, hotels, even paid to use that toilet, 80p for a pee. So I thought that were a great idea. My only beef with it was after I'd been in Europe for about 3 days, I checked it on my phone and found that they'd charged me fees. Now, I was told that it was fee-free. That was the whole idea of using it, that you didn't pay fees. So I emailed them, and they emailed me back and said that they were sorry, but they couldn't do anything about it there because they didn't have my personal details. I didn't provide them with my personal details to look into it. I just emailed and said, you're charging me fees for currency conversion when I'm using euros in Europe. Why are you doing that? Anyway, from that moment on, I never received any more fees. I actually went into Asda yesterday to the little kiosk where I got the card from to not confront them, just to tell them about this, but there was nobody there.
Oh, was there?
No, it was empty, was the kiosk. So I haven't, I was going to say, look, I want this money back. What about three charges? £3 odd each, these charges, so they want, pence. But apart from that, I thought the card was brilliant. Now, if we'd have gone in the motorhome, I don't know how I'd have got on. Because I was using the hotel Wi-Fi to upload the videos that we'd made, and also I was downloading maps so that I could use the map offline on my phone. So I was using the Wi-Fi to download maps and upload videos. So how would I have got on in the van where I would have been using my data
You don't know, do you?
for 10 days, whether it would have lasted?
Yeah.
I don't know. But so it worked out well, doing it the way we did. At a cost. it'd have cost me a damn sight less to have bought some data
Yeah.
than it would have to
Paid for hotels.
paid for the hotels.
Mm.
I was just saying to Pat earlier on that when I booked that first hotel we stayed in, the Postilion Hotel in Holland, and I looked at £18 each for a breakfast and thought that was outrageous. Refused to pay for it. But I was saying to Pat, if we hadn't bought the breakfast in the hotel, where would we have got a breakfast?
Yeah.
Because we actually never saw anywhere where, like a cafe, anywhere actually where you could have done that.
There were motorway places, weren't there? That first garage we went in, they had a bit of a cafe in there, but there were nowhere really to sit. It were like
Machines.
There were a counter where you could buy.
But there wasn't a seating area, though.
There were like some high chairs against wall or something. I'm not sure.
Right.
So there were McDonald's. Were it McDonald's?
Right, and where were they?
Well, they were on motorways, weren't they?
Oh, were they? Okay.
But, I mean, they would have been open as well.
They would, yeah.
But they're not the type of places that we go in, are they?
No, we don't really use McDonald's and stuff like that, no. Their breakfast would have consisted in something with bread, wouldn't it? You know, an egg sandwich or something.
Yeah.
Egg and bacon, back.
Yeah.
Which I couldn't have eaten.
Yeah. But at least having breakfast in the hotel, it meant that also we could have different things and it lasted us till evening meal. We didn't have to have a lunch. So it kept us going, didn't it?
Because there were a lot of things to choose from.
Yeah, fruit were gorgeous.
The fruit were gorgeous. There was cold meats, which were a bit strange, but
I did have some.
You had cold meats. Some of them had egg and bacon, scrambled egg and bacon. Some of them didn't. Most of them did have boiled eggs, but they were hard boiled eggs.
Yeah, they weren't hot.
Yeah, and croissants, which I had.
Yeah.
And got away with it.
We've just had another one.
I've just had one this morning.
And some fruit.
Yeah. So we did have plenty to last us. We didn't. I can't remember being starving by the time
tea time came.
No.
We found it. I think you found it a bit better eating a bit earlier than
here. We do here.
Yeah, and also their main evening meals started at 5, didn't they? Some of them.
Yeah.
And some of them 6.
Yeah.
And I think you were mainly ready about 4:30 or something like that.
Can't remember.
Yeah. So on a couple of occasions, you said you felt as though you felt better eating that little bit earlier than 5 o'clock.
Well, there was.
I don't know.
There was one place where we went into that grill place, and we had the currywurst. That would have been in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And then there was another hotel where we went to, and we didn't have an evening meal in there. We had their lunch meal, which were only it was some kind of sausage-shaped thing with breadcrumb type covering.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what were inside it. Yeah. You weren't too keen on it. And it came with fries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a pasty kind of meat. Soft.
Yeah. It was a bit weird, I must admit.
But we did have the second to last day, we had we went back to Postilion, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
And we had a beef burger in there.
Oh, without the bread.
It was really nice.
Oh yeah, we did, didn't we?
Wasn't it? It was a lovely beef burger.
Yeah, that one nice.
And salad and chips,
Yeah.
I mean, we did have some nice
Their
meals.
salads were nice. They had
Yeah, were lovely.
real nice dressing on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had a couple of salads.
We did have some nice food overall, didn't we?
Yeah. 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 Although sometimes we didn't know what we were getting.
Yeah, it's true. I remember in one place, we were in an independent type place, and she kept coming to us asking if we were ready, and I were having to put all the words into my phone to see what on earth it was, because we had no idea whatsoever was on this menu.
No.
Did we? Not a clue. And I was writing the words into my phone to see what the words meant. That were really hard.
Yeah.
I don't know what we finished up with.
I think that was the one where we finished up with that sausage, like a croquette and chips. In that.
Oh, were it?
Yeah, we're in afternoon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
She kept coming to us, didn't she? I know. Yeah.
Oh, it was in, you know, the hotel where we stayed in the annex and there were workmen.
Yeah.
And we didn't have an evening meal in the hotel. We went to that place in the town. It were there.
Oh.
And she kept coming and asking us what were we ready. And she was doing a lot of telephone orders. People were coming in.
Oh.
You remember? Yeah, what a woman on her own.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't think it was that one. But never mind. Yeah. But all in all, I think we did have some nice meals.
Anyway, I wasn't intending
talking about
the holiday anymore. Just the card thing, because I never mentioned it. But what I wanted to talk to you about really was we had fun last night watching this programme that I found on, I don't know, it was not on YouTube, I don't know where it was. It was on the telly. We have that card, that flash, I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, Summit Stick.
Summit Stick, yeah.
It goes in back at telly.
But it was some really interesting stories. And one of them was a book by Edgar Allan Poe that he wrote about this story about a shipwreck. This boat had a shipwreck, and there were 4 survivors of this shipwreck. And they got so hungry that they decided to draw lots as to who were going to be sacrificed, and they were going to eat the person that was sacrificed. And
not nice.
The guy who got the short straw was called something like Alan Parker. And they ate him. And ironically, I don't know, in this story, I don't know how many years after that.
Was that the one where the ship were called the
The ship was the same name as the one in the book. This was in real life. In real life, years and years later, a ship of the same name as the one in the book by Edgar Allan Poe shipwrecked, and there were 4 survivors. And the same thing happened on this in real life. And ironically, the name of the lad who they ate was the same name, Alan Parker.
Yeah, exactly.
Same name. And it's a true story, because when they were rescued, they were on trial in England. They were tried for cannibalism. And I don't know what date it was.
I can't remember that.
But then there was another book by a man called Morgan Robertson, who wrote a book called The Wreck of the Titan. And this book was about a massive cruise ship that they built, and it was supposed to be unsinkable, and it only had a few lifeboats on it. And
I think it had 24, and the Titanic had 20, something like that.
Yeah, you're jumping the gun a bit, because the story was called The Wreck of the Titan, about this cruise ship with only a limited number of lifeboats on it. And it hit an iceberg and sank, to the loss of so many thousand people. And 49 years later, the Titanic did exactly, and the size of the ship,
More or less the same.
So many details were so much like this book by Morgan Robertson about the wreck of the Titan, which was written 49 years earlier. We thought these stories were absolutely fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you remember one?
Well, the one about the lady that made a pact with her brother when they were young, that whoever had died first would come back and tell the other one whether heaven really existed, because I think they were brought up quite religious, and he died first, and he did come back as an apparition or a ghost or whatever you want to say, and she didn't believe that it were him, but he touched her on her arm, and it left a mark that she had for the rest of her life. And he told her that she was going to have 4 children. She was going to get married, and the first husband was going to die, and she'd get married again. And by the age of 47, she would die herself. Anyway, all these things did happen to her, and on what she thought were her 48th birthday, she gave her a party.
Because she'd passed the age of 47.
Yeah.
So she thought, it's not happened.
And they were all sat eating. And she said she gave a toast to get him past this age, that she was 48. And the priest at the end of the table said, "No, you're wrong, love. You are 47. Something like that. Told her that she were only 47, not 48. And she thought, oh. And she went upstairs to write a will. And after she'd written a will, she just died.
Died that night.
Yeah. So, this apparition of her brother, everything he said came true. Which is strange, isn't it? I remember that one.
Another one I remember was a guy who got struck by lightning 4 times in his life and survived, and eventually he died. And the lightning struck his gravestone and split it.
It must have just been charged for lightning to find him.
Yeah. All these stories were factual.
Yeah, there were a lot more, weren't there?
There were more. They just...
And they were just so... Wow.
Strange.
Wow.
Yeah. The irony of them was amazing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Can't remember anymore, can you?
I don't think I can.
I might have, if you'd have told me last night, remember them. But I never thought I'd have to remember them this morning.
So that were us sat in bed watching these stories that were actually true. They actually came true. It reminded me of, do you remember a film that John Cage was in it, where Nicolas Cage, sorry. John Cage is an author, a musician. Nicolas Cage, yeah. Of a time capsule.
That they pulled out at
Yeah, school.
And everybody got something from
probably.
Time
Yeah,
Capsule.
you'll know the film, yeah. It reminded me of that.
Yeah, because that were a prediction, wasn't
Yeah.
it? That everything on this note that his son got, there were dates where disaster had happened. And, the last one was...
The total destruction of the earth,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
their era.
Yeah.
And aliens come and took out children off a planet. Yeah.
Yeah.
We wanted to go with him, but they weren't there.
Only kids.
Only children, yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's our little chat for this morning.
All right, folks.
Mind you, we have been listening to someone else this morning, and
All right.
he walks in the dark and tells you things that's going on.
We walked round his neighbourhood.
Yeah.
Where he lives.
Right.
On an evening. And he's talking about what's going on. He was talking about today about an headmaster of a school in Batley.
Teacher.
Well, what are you teacher or? I want the headmaster one.
I don't know
I
now.
can't remember now. But something about he did a drawing of Mohammed or something in the classroom, and the local Muslims in Batley were threatened his life, threatened to kill him, and he had to move. He had to move 100 miles away with his family.
Yeah.
He's been there. It's been 3 years now. He's been in isolation for fear of his life and his family's life. He's had death threats and all sorts. And he's saying, the police and the local MPs have done nothing about it. In fact, they've bent over backwards to ameliorate those people who have made the threats against him. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That's our morning.
That's our morning. All right, folks. And on that bombshell,
we will leave you.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.